Good morning, Santa Clarita. Welcome in. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson, your host. It is good to have you with us. All right. This special edition of Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers, is brought to you by KHTS in collaboration with SCVi and iLEAD Charter Schools. Again, we appreciate you being here. If you're joining us on Facebook Live, it's good to have you looking in the studio at us. If you're interested in watching and listening to the show on Facebook Live instead of the radio or your app that you've downloaded on the phone or your Amazon Alexa device, you can just tune into Facebook, search KHTS Radio, and we are the salmon-colored banner there. Feel free to tune in. You will notice that I'm sitting in a studio seemingly by myself, looking like a fool, wearing my mask. But just across from this fool is my brilliant engineer, Shane. He is just off camera. He's got his mask on as well.
Hello from the other side.
Oh, yes!
Just a little Adele to start your day.
There we go. Pick me up. Better than my coffee. Alrighty. We do come to you live every morning at 9 a.m., providing support and updates for your distance learning journey, as well as updates from in and around the city and surrounding areas. We are also continually curating and adding new resources to our website. Head on over to homeschoolinganswers.com and check out the resources that we've got there. If you are hitting your stride and you feel like your kids need a little bit more to supplement what they're doing at school, you can head on over to homeschoolinganswers.com or maybe that's just not doing it for you and you want to see what else we've got to offer. There's so many different websites and resources out there that are providing their services and their resources for free, but it's tough to weed through sometimes what stuff is good and what's just fluff and what stuff is actually something that once you click a couple times you're going to have to start paying for. So we've done all the weeding for you. We've sorted everything by grade level, by subject area. We've got parent resources, all different kinds of entertaining things as well. So head on over to homeschoolinganswers.com. Check it out. Hopefully we've got what you need over there. We've also, we're well into a webinar series here that we've been doing this spring as you've been home, and hopefully those webinars have been valuable for you. We come to you every Thursday from 1 to 2 p.m. iLEAD Schools is offering a free webinar series for the next few weeks. This week, the iLEAD team is presenting a webinar that's intended for teachers, for families, and for students as well. Everyone is welcome, but the topic this week is how to do project-based learning online for the high school grades, 9th through 12th grade. How to do project-based learning online for 9th through 12th grade. Previous sessions have included how to do virtual learning, building virtual partnerships, what does it take to lead remotely, and that's in the business and education sector. And a couple weeks ago, we did project-based learning online for the lower grades, kindergarten through 8th grade. That one was actually co-hosted by Tom Markham. He really is kind of the godfather of project-based learning. He was around when project-based learning really got its launch, and we like to say about Tom, he quite literally wrote the book on project-based learning, and it's actually been translated into several different languages. He's kind of the poster child for project-based learning here in the United States, Australia, China, so he's quite the expert. He did that a couple weeks ago. Last week we did student support virtually, the why, the what, and the how. Student support is how we handle special education. And iLEAD Schools is actually getting quite a bit of notoriety for how they're handling their special education students' needs during this time of distance learning. So you might want to check that out. All those previous webinars are posted on that website, homeschoolinganswers.com. So go ahead and check it out. I'm going to ask producer Sarah to post the link to the registration page if you'd like to participate live in Thursday's webinar. Again, that's project-based learning for 9th through 12th grades. This Thursday, 1 to 2 p.m. You do have to register ahead of time if you want to participate live, and then you'll be able to participate in the chat, the Q&A afterwards, things like that. Well, excuse me, we do have a great show for you today. Our regular Tuesday guest, Mayor Cameron Smyth, is here. He'll be coming up in just a minute or two, so if you've got questions for the mayor, go ahead and start posting them now. Post them in the Facebook comment section on the Facebook Live. Or you can post them in my email. You can send me an email to homeschoolinganswers@ileadschools.org. Again, you can shoot me an email, homeschoolinganswers@ileadschools.org, or post them in the Facebook Live comments, and we'll get to those questions the second segment with Mayor Smyth. We've also got Tina Toval from the leadership team at SCVi. We'll be checking back in with her and seeing how things are going over at SCVi. We've also got our next senior spotlight. We've got senior from Saugus High School, Pars Watson, today. That's when we honor individual seniors from our area high schools during this time that really should be an exciting one, except for this whole pandemic thing that's got them locked in at home and away from their school campuses. Of course, we've also got our friend and official licensed marriage and family therapist, Christina Debray. So, great show, jam-packed show. Let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, my first guest today is Mayor Cameron Smyth, and instead of the typical intro today, we've got a pop quiz for you. If you've been listening, and you should have been, then you're ready. This'll be easy. So go ahead and grab a pencil and a piece of paper, and we'll get started. Oh wait, go ahead and grab a pencil, piece of paper. I'm getting text messages from Big T already. He's got his pencil ready to go. What about you? Let's go. Let's get moving. Jefferson, come on. Don't stop and chit-chat along the way. Just get your pencil and sit down. All right, are we ready? Okay, and by the way, in between questions here, you can post your questions for the mayor. We'll be taking those again next break, so post them in the Facebook Live comments. All right, are we ready? Please number your papers 1 through 8. We've got 8 questions for you. Should be nice and easy if you've been listening to the show. It's multiple choice, so just write the letter of the correct answer, and we will go over those answers once we wrap up with the mayor here next break. Here we go. Pay attention, because I'm not going to repeat these questions. Number 1. Mayor Cameron Smyth was born in A, San Francisco, B, Santa Clarita, C, Pasadena, or D, Sacramento. A, San Francisco, B, Santa Clarita, C, Pasadena, D, Sacramento. I said I wasn't going to repeat, so that's the last time. Question number 2, Mayor Smyth attended which local high school? A, Canyon High School, B, Saugus High School, C, Hart High School, D, Valencia High School. Question number 3, Mayor Smyth starred in how many sports in high school? A, 2, B, 3, C, 4, D, 5. Question number 4, Cameron Smyth was the first ever all-CIF boys athlete for his school. In which sport? A, football, B, basketball, C, volleyball, D, track. Question number 5, Mayor Smyth graduated from which university with a degree in rhetoric and communications? A, UCLA, B, UC San Diego, C, UC Davis, or D, UC Irvine. Question number 6, Mayor Smyth was first elected to city council in what year? A, 1996, B, 1998, C, 2000, or D, 2002. Question number 7, how you doing on these? You getting them all correct? Question number 7, how many terms has Mayor Smyth served as our city's mayor? A, 2, B, 3, C, 4, or D, 5. And lastly, while he is gracious with his time and appears on multiple shows here on KHTS, your hometown station, Mayor Smyth's favorite show on your hometown station is A, The Real Side with Joe Messina, B, Get Better with Dr. Palucki, C, Eye on the Valley with your host Matt Watson, weekdays at 9 a.m., or D, Common Ground with Jason Downs. Okay, answers to the quiz will be given at the end of our interview. And now, your Mayor Cameron Smyth. Mayor Smyth, welcome back to the show, sir.
I think I can answer all of those.
You think you got them?
I hope.
You got to be careful. There was one that was kind of a trick question.
It was at least 7 out of 8.
Okay, good. That's I think that's a B plus. So you're doing strong. Okay, so make sure that you hold on to your quiz sheet, and we'll get to those after we get to the Facebook Live questions next break. First of all, Mayor Smyth, how was your Mother's Day? Did you make ample space in your socially distanced weekend to celebrate your mom and your wife?
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly something that's a little bit different for everybody, but fortunately, we were my wife and kids were able to enjoy the nice weather and did a little bit of outside cooking, and were able to connect with them, with my mom. So again, a little bit different, but yes, good time to take a break and still be thankful despite the challenges that we're facing across the country, certainly here in Santa Clarita. But a good day. How about you?
Yeah, you know what? I had a great day. Didn't get to gather in a large group like we typically do, but I was able to go down and have a nice brunch with my mother and her husband. Picked up some Salt Creek. They had a great prime rib and an egg and potato breakfast or brunch that they were doing. It was fantastic. It was nice, and then we just kind of hung out outside. Like you said, it was a beautiful day, nice and relaxing, and good to see Mom. So yeah, it was terrific. You're a good man, Mayor Smyth. So, today is our special election day in the 25th Congressional District. Have you voted yet, or is that something that you're going to take care of later on today?
No, I voted early on once I got the mail-in ballot. I've learned over the years that while I prefer to vote in person, I know life sometimes happens and you get caught. There were a couple of years. I think it was the 2012 presidential election. I ended up having to be in Utah for work, and I had to scramble. I hadn't voted yet, so I had to scramble to get back in time, hoping that my flights would make it so I could get in and get my vote cast. So, I feel pretty confident in the vote-by-mail system, and always freeze it up a little bit. But I know that when I am up for election, so my election days, I do like to go vote in person because I know I'm not going to be traveling on that day.
Yep, you're right. I think the county or the district was hoping that most of us would vote by mail, but it's nice that they still have the polling places set up. I know there's one set up at COC. I've got a list of them here somewhere. We'll probably go over it maybe a little bit later on in the hour or next hour, and make sure that you cast your votes out there. If you haven't done so by mail, you still have until 8 o'clock tonight to get out there and get those cast. We do have that special election again to fill the currently vacant seat in Congress that we have here in the district. We're having the special election because none of the candidates back on Super Tuesday received 50% of the vote. So, Mayor Smyth, if the same thing happens today, if neither candidate receives 50% of the vote, would you seek to be appointed by the governor as a suitable third option?
No.
I'm wondering, mathematically, it would be really, really difficult for neither one of those two candidates to get 50% of the vote. But
Yeah.
So
I don't know. There's if there's a write-in campaign for me, you never know what that can do.
Hey, the will of the people.
Right. Exactly.
I'm wondering, do you know how that happens? If it splits exactly down the middle and it's 50-50 and an exact tie, do Mike Garcia and Christy Smyth like thumb wrestle for it, or?
No, I think I'm sure there are established rules, but some states and jurisdictions, they go straight to a coin toss, literally.
Oh wow, that'd be cool. All right, we've got no sports. That's something I'm looking forward to. I don't know, maybe putting a couple bucks down on. That'd be cool. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. We've played long enough. Let's get to your update. We're now fully out of phase 1 and into phase 2, or is it stage 2? I'm an English teacher, and there is a difference between phases and stages. Maybe we'll go over that later on. But what's going on in and around the city, whether it's corona or non-corona related? What have you got for us today?
No, I think the big question was the start of transitioning from the governor's order into the phase 2 with the opening of some retail for curbside pickup. To be honest, it really is just nibbling around the edges, so to speak, to allow a very few number of businesses to allow curbside pickup. Didn't make a huge bout of noise. I think the most impactful change this weekend was the opening of golf courses as well as auto dealerships, and getting that started, and the county trail system being reopened. So those were bigger issues, I think, which were ultimately county decisions versus the state or city decisions. And I think it's important that everyone remembers that the state sets the overall baseline. Once the governor declares a public health emergency, he has the authority to then set standards in place to address that said emergency. And that is your baseline. So no other jurisdiction within that state can go any less restrictive than what the state has set. However, the governor has allowed for primarily counties that have public health agencies themselves to be more restrictive. And that's what you've seen in LA County and others, particularly when you take example the issue of facial coverings. The state does not mandate, does not require facial coverings, across the state. They strongly recommend it. However, Los Angeles County and others have instituted a mandatory facial covering when you're visiting those essential businesses. And those are decisions that are coming down at the local level. And so the concern that we have moving forward is I expect the state will move faster into phase 2 or phase 3 than what we will see in Los Angeles County. And there you're going to have the conflict between the state rules and the county rules. And that is going to put a lot of our residents and business owners, I think, in a difficult position, because overwhelmingly, while people want to open up and move and proceed with getting life back going, very few people want to just ignore all rules and all guidelines in the opening up. So I'm concerned that businesses and individuals are going to be at odds with local rules, county rules, even though they're following the state rules. And that could put businesses and licensing in jeopardy with people doing that unknowingly.
Yeah, and it's kind of a dichotomy. You and I have talked about this before. We are part of LA County, which is by far and away the most affected area in the state of California. I think I heard Supervisor Barger mention yesterday that roughly half of the cases and half of the deaths have taken place here in LA County, which would put us at very, very high risk. But then here in Santa Clarita, we are rather juxtaposed. That's, man, tongue twister. We're quite different from the rest of the county. We've seen our cases, and unfortunately we have had our deaths here locally, but at a much lower rate than the rest of the county. We kind of mirror a little bit more some of the areas around the state, yet we're part of the county and have to adhere to those guidelines, correct?
Right, and when you look at yesterday's numbers, and I'm just quoting now the city of Santa Clarita numbers, so not the Santa Clarita Valley, so keep that in mind. But in the city, as of yesterday, we've had 496 total cases since early March. We have, whereas the county has had 32,258 total cases. The county has reported 1,569 deaths. Santa Clarita within Henry Mayo has reported 5 or 6 fatalities at Henry Mayo. Total hospitalizations are 5,437 in countywide, and at Henry Mayo 84. So clearly the numbers are, and again, those are just the city numbers. And it's important to remember while there's been a little bit of a spike in numbers for the Santa Clarita Valley, much of that has occurred at Pitches. And so while those numbers are attributed to the Santa Clarita Valley, they're really, shouldn't be. It's like the city of Lancaster has their numbers, but they also, the state or the county is applying the number of cases at the Lancaster prison, to the city of Lancaster. Well, sure, you can say in overall numbers, but those who are in prison that have been tested positive is a small, very controlled group that is not interacting with the general public.
Sure, they're certainly contained there. I know there was a bit of confusion last week with cases that were attributed errantly to the community of Valverde that maybe should have been attributed to Pitches. Have you looked into that at all? Is that cleared up now?
It has, and I think when you look at the Department of Public Health's numbers, they have flipped and they put them in CASTAC, and then there's a kind of a qualifier that says includes cases confirmed at pitches. So that's there's some clarity there, which I think gave the residents of Val Verde a much greater sense of relief, because you saw a huge spike there in the county numbers, which just seemed like it was exponential growth for a small community, and it caused a lot of unnecessary concern for those residents.
Yeah, definitely. So there was a bit of a debate around my house last night. We seem to talk about the parks just about every week, and you've been very clear. Our parks are open. Looks like our county has now kind of caught up to us with opening the parks and trails and things like that, as long as we maintain social distance. Trails and spaces are open, but basketball courts and baseball fields are not. But it was actually my son's dog last night that was asking rather vehemently the question about dog parks. Have we made a ruling on dog parks? Are those open?
So dog parks are not. I think it's still pretty difficult to maintain kind of that social distancing and limiting of people in the dog park, because it's obviously a gated off area, and so unless you're able to limit the number of people at a time, it's hard to maintain that the kind of those social distancing guidelines. And I think it's important to say that the county parks, I believe, are not open yet.
Oh, okay.
The trails.
Thanks for the clarification. Appreciate it.
So while I think Pico Canyon Trail or Towsley Canyon trails are open, I don't think Richard Rue Park, for example, or Castaic Park is open yet. The trail systems are, but not the active parks at this point, I believe. I know beaches are starting to open up in LA County tomorrow, so I would imagine parks will be part of another wave of announcements. Friday the 15th, I think Friday's the 15th, but the county health order is set to expire on the 15th, and they are certainly going to continue it in some fashion. And I think that's something that residents are misinformed about. I think there's a number of businesses that I have seen that have been posting about their plans to reopen on May 15th, and I believe that is being done with the belief that the stay-at-home order is going to expire on May 15th, and therefore we're going to be able to reopen. And that's just not going to be the case. Los Angeles County is going to extend the order in some fashion. It probably will be a more phase 2, but the idea of restaurants or salons or other retail malls being open for business on May 15th is just not going to be the case under the state and county laws.
Okay. Alrighty, so we'll kind of stay tuned as the 15th comes and goes, and we'll probably talk about that next week. Now, this evening, there is a city council meeting, correct? Among other things, you guys are going to be talking about reopening of the economy here in Santa Clarita. Is there anything that you're going to suggest or put forward?
So we're looking at a couple of options, and I think it's important for the residents to once again understand that these orders that are in place are not coming from the city of Santa Clarita.
Sure.
They come from the county and the state, and there are no cities in California that are open. That's just some counties are taking steps to either challenge the governor's order, or in Riverside County, for example, they have chosen to lift their county overlay orders that were more restrictive and are now just in compliance with the state order. So Riverside County was one of the first to mandate facial coverings, and now they are repealing that order as of, I think, today or yesterday, that will now put them just in compliance, and they're going to follow the state order.
Okay.
So one of I've received a number of emails, I'm sure the council has as well, and calls about opening Santa Clarita. And I think I've shared this with you before, that the council doesn't have that authority. And the concern I have is if the city chose to do quote unquote reopen, what that would do and what would that would subject our local businesses to possible enforcement actions. And that very circumstance happened this weekend in the city of Oceanside. Yep. A city council member sent out a letter basically saying that in his belief, all businesses in Oceanside are essential. The governor and the county's orders are not constitutional, and he encouraged local businesses to reopen. So a local small kind of boutique gym owner took him up on that order, opened up, and was very quickly visited by the Oceanside Police Department. He was put in handcuffs and cited and ordered to close his business. And they went one step further by saying that if he reopens, not only could he be cited again, but anybody who visits his business will be cited.
Okay.
And that is the exact circumstance that we want to avoid and put in jeopardy the very people that we want to help. So, it's easy to say, oh, sure, Santa Clarita is, for us to say, we're going to say Santa Clarita is open for business, but we don't have the authority to do that. And businesses then who could lose their license or be cited try to argue that, well, the city of Santa Clarita said that we were open for business.
Right.
That you might as well say that, right? It has that much or that little authority. And so, what we're trying to do, I think, is to talk about what are the options. How can we look at the orders that have been laid out, and how can Santa Clarita, utilizing the data we have, maybe move a little bit more aggressively than what the county has in place or even the state. The governor has laid out a certain number of steps for counties if they want to have a variance to move faster than the state order. There are some benchmarks that he's put in place. So there's some discussion about, I think we'll discuss, could that be applied to an incorporated city? Do we want to follow the Palmdale-Lancaster model where they have outlined a reopening plan to submit to the county for approval? So I think that's some of the things we want to just discuss as a council, and decide what can we maybe do as a city, and so that's why we wanted to put that item on the agenda tonight, to just see what are the options for local cities and what might be the best option for Santa Clarita.
Okay, we do have a couple of questions regarding that meeting and a couple of other things. We need to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we will have your questions. So if you haven't got one in, post it now in the Facebook Live feed, and we will do our best to get to it. You're listening to SCVi Charter Schools Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm your host, Matt Watson, on your hometown station, KHTS.
My tile is 20 years old, and it makes my house look 20 years old.
For quality custom kitchen, bath, and tile, trust the professionals at Southern California Tile.
Hi, I'm Bob of Southern California Tile, and I invite you to come look at the wide selection of tile and stone at our show. We offer you personalized one-on-one service and help you see the many beautiful possibilities for improving your home.
Get some style at Southern California Tile.
In Placerita, by the entrance to Masters College.
Moms, dads, this is Cardin Ellis, owner of Unipass. If your house has ants, spiders, or gophers, or you want a free orange oil termite inspection, you have to call Unipass Termite and Pest Control, Santa Clarita's only factory-certified orange oil pest control company. We specialize in organic, low-impact, and traditional pest control options that are all kid-friendly, pet-friendly, and affordable with no contracts, and we're SCVi owned and operated. Call us at 661-BUG-7575 or visit unipass.com.
MB2 Raceway, fast, high-performance kart racing at LA County's only indoor electric kart racing facility, and you're the superstar driver. Motocross legend and DEI driver Ricky Carmichael and Team Andretti Green's Brian Herta race in MB2 when they're not fighting it out for world championships, and so can you. MB2 Raceway, located between San Fernando and Santa Clarita Valleys, where the 5, the 210, and the 14 freeways meet in Silmar. It's MB2 Raceway. Dial 1-866-986-RACE. That's 1-866-986-RACE. MB2 Raceway, where racers race.
The month of May is National Foster Parent Appreciation Month. Become a resource to a child and their family. Celebrate by applying to become a resource parent and fostering or foster adopting siblings. Children's Bureau is now offering an online foster adoption orientation for anyone, individuals, and or couples who are interested in helping children in foster care while reunifying with their birth families or to provide legal permanency by adoption. Call 1-800-730-3933 or visit allforkids.org. That is the number 4, allforkids.org.
Accidents happen, but rest assured Patterson's Collision Center is here to help. Patterson's is a family-owned and operated collision repair facility providing the Santa Clarita Valley with premium collision repairs. Patterson's prides itself on being the only California-certified green repair shop in all of Santa Clarita. They are insurance claim specialists and even offer payment plans for your deductible. For personalized, friendly service, visit pattersonscollisioncenter.com or call 294-1011 and let Patterson's Collision Center help ease your worries today.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers with Matt Watson. We're talking this morning with Mayor Cameron Smyth, as we do every Tuesday morning. We're so glad that he's able to come in and join us and update us with the current situation in and around our city. As I mentioned before the break, we're taking your questions on the KHTS Facebook Live feed. I've also gotten a couple in on the on my email there at homeschoolinganswers@ileadschools.org. Invariably, we get questions as we're saying goodbye, and it's tough because we are on that 10-second lead time. So if you've got your questions, you still might have a minute or two to get them in now, but we're going to go to the 2 or 3 that I have. Mayor Smyth, the first question that came into my email says, how should citizens respond if they see someone out in public not following the county mandate to cover their face?
So first thing I would say is, I would say do not confront them.
Okay.
So the last thing we need is people to be in a confrontation. Secondly, it's important to remember the guidelines are very clear that the mandating of facial coverings is only when you are in an essential business, and the businesses have the authority. They don't have to, but they do have the authority to either deny service to someone who isn't wearing a facial covering, or even deny entrance to people who are not wearing a facial covering. But if someone is out on the city trail, they are jogging, or they're going for a walk or a bike ride, it is not required to wear a facial covering. And in fact, if you are out going jogging, we probably don't want you to be wearing a facial covering because that creates obviously could create other health issues. So again, I would certainly not encourage anybody to have a confrontation with someone. But if you feel compelled, I think the order is enforced by the LA County Department of Public Health, so I would count and reach out to county public health officials, particularly if you're seeing a consistent presence, at a local business or something that is consistent. You may want to report there, so that the public health officials can support the local businesses.
Sure, and of course immediate action, just kind of keep your distance and take care of yourself. And it's interesting, you just answered our second question about how stores should handle those who don't comply. There was someone asking, we were talking about the city council meeting tonight, that you guys have got several items on the agenda, as well as discussing the current situation, what's going on. Someone was asking how folks can watch that. Do you have any details, or we just head over to the city website?
Sure. So I think our meetings are still streamed. So I think either through the city website, I believe SCVi TV is still streaming carrying the council meetings live as well. And so aside, and if you have cable, I think SCVi TV or the city streaming service. So still plenty of opportunities to watch the meeting. While you can't attend in public, there is still the ability to watch. And if people want to comment on any of the items, you can certainly send emails to the council now and before the meeting, so that our staff will be able to compile those comments and input and provide it to the council before the meeting starts.
Okay, terrific. Thank you. And our Facebook Live feed listener Jeff is asking, with the election ending today, and I love how respectful he's asking, with the election ending today, is it appropriate to ask our mayor who he endorses for the 25th district and why? So is that something that's appropriate at this time? Is that something that you're able to answer?
No, sure. I had actually prior to today, I did endorse Mike Garcia for Congress. I've known both the candidates for a period of time, and just after the primary, I decided the best person to represent us at this point is Mr. Garcia, and I look forward to the results tonight, like everybody else. Regardless of what happens, Assemblymember Smyth will still be representing us in the legislature, and I imagine she's going back and forth doing the job that she's currently elected to, and we'll see what happens. But both were good candidates, but I decided to endorse Mr. Garcia.
Certainly interested, a hotly contested race with rather wide-ranging implications, so it'll be interesting to see the results as they come out. All right, Mayor Smyth, we appreciate you coming on. We know you've got a long day ahead of you. Literally no one is banging down our door for the answers to the pop quiz that we had a little bit earlier in the show, but would you care to give out any of the answers?
I will give no. I want people.
So I'm a good teacher. The answer is always C. So the answer to all 8 questions is C. Yes, including that trick question. Mayor Smyth was born in Pasadena, while he is native here to Santa Clarita. He was born just a couple of days or weeks or so before Henry Mayo opened their doors, and his parents had to take him out to Pasadena, and that's where he was born. But the answer to all of those questions was C. So, Mayor Smyth, we appreciate it. Thanks so much. We know you've got a long day ahead of yourself. Grab some guava juice and get back to work. Thanks so much. Be well. We'll talk to you Tuesday.
Thanks, Matt. Okay.
Bye-bye. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we've got another Class of 2020 Senior Spotlight. You're listening to SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson on your hometown station, KHTS.
Hi, this is Bob Schertz with the Way Out Recovery SCV, reminding you that during these unprecedented times, addiction and mental health do not take a break. If you or someone you love are struggling, please give us a call at 661-296-4444. We are open and here to help you during this time. Thanks.
He broke records and piloted the F-18 Super Hornet in combat. Answering our nation's call, he served with honor. Then Mike Garcia returned home to his family, to a far worse California from where he grew up. Now, Garcia's next mission: cut taxes, clean up homelessness in our cities. With California on the brink, we need a fighter to answer the call once again. Mike Garcia for Congress.
I'm Mike Garcia, and I approve this message.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
We salute our veterans who sacrificed for our freedom.
Santa Clarita veteran Bill Reynolds.
Each week, we share an inspirational story of a local veteran on our Hometown Heroes page at hometownstation.com, thanks to our good friends at Eternal Valley.
I'm Richard Nunnally, General Manager of Eternal Valley Memorial Park and Mortuary. We believe taking care of each other is what community is all about. We're proud to bring you the stories of our hometown heroes.
Eternal Valley, life well celebrated.
The minute I open my door,
Debbie Morris has a problem.
I say, oh my gosh!
A really big problem.
The dog, the cat, my 3-year-old.
Debbie's house is a mess.
How can one family create this disaster?
Debbie needs meat for you.
I need help!
Professional residential and commercial cleaning, locally owned. You choose the schedule, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or even one-time seasonal cleaning. Call 255-2922. That's 255-2922. Made for you.
Made for you rescued me.
As the stay-at-home order continues, Burger King is committed to following state and federal safety guidelines when it comes to serving you, the customer. Although in-restaurant dining has closed, pickup and delivery service continues. The current hours are 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can mobile order through the BK app for pickup, or you can use any of the delivery services like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Postmates. Burger King on Lyons at the 5 Freeway, now with service at 2 drive-through windows.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. This is Matt Watson, and you're listening to Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. Spring semester is in full swing. Unfortunately, our school campuses are not. This should be a magical time filled with fun and excitement and anticipation for our high school seniors with prom and senior trip and graduation and all the accoutrement, that's French, that goes along with it. But with this pandemic upending everything, our seniors, the class of 2020, have been kind of locked out of a lot of those events. So we here at Eye on the Valley, we want to honor our seniors by spotlighting a few of the graduating seniors from our local high schools over the next couple weeks. And today, we are joined by Pars Watson, senior from Saugus High School. Good morning, Pars. By the way, if you notice, Pars does have the same last name as a certain local radio show host. You are right. Nepotism runs hot here on Eye on the Valley. Do you have a son or daughter or a niece or nephew or a neighbor kid that's graduating this year? You want us to put them on? Go ahead and send me an email. We will put them on. Homeschoolinganswers@ileadschools.org. Send me that email at homeschoolinganswers@ileadschools.org. We'd love to honor as many seniors as we can. Good morning, Pars. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thanks. It's good to talk to you. So you and I have gotten to know each other rather well over the last 17 years, but not all of our listeners know who you are. Can you share with us a little bit about who you are, how long you've lived in Santa Clarita? What are some of your interests? What are you involved in?
Yeah, so I'm a Saugus senior. I'm in the school band, and I've lived in SCVi for most of my life, but when I was 3, my family and I moved to Ecuador because that was where my mom was born and raised for about 5 years. So we moved back when I was 8, and basically I like anything in the arts, especially drawing, which I picked up early in my life, thanks to my supportive family, and I've been improving ever since.
Fantastic. What instrument do you play there in the band?
I play the saxophone, the tenor saxophone.
Nice, saxophone. Alrighty. So now, as you're drawing to a close, you know, you're looking back on high school and looking forward to college. As you look back, what have been some of your more memorable experiences at your high school?
Probably the marching band competitions. Like, I had an amazing group of friends, and we screwed around in the bus, played games, and we went to Denny's after football games, and it was definitely something I'll remember for a very long time.
Cool. Don't say screwed around on the radio, Pars. Alrighty. Sorry. So now, that's looking back. We're looking forward after graduation. What are you doing next year? And then maybe even after college as you project forward?
I'm going to be attending San Francisco State University next year to study fashion design and film.
Gators.
Yeah. I'm very excited to have new experiences, and well, I just hope that on-campus activity starts back up soon, so I can be there for fall semester.
Okay, fantastic. And then do you have any plans long-term with the degree in either filmmaking or fashion design?
I'm not very sure just yet, but I'm hoping to have it figured out by before I graduate college. But I'm really not too picky about where life's going to take me.
You've got a long time to figure it out. You know, I'm 47 years old. I still haven't figured out what I want to be when I grow up. All right, here we go, Pars. Are you ready? It is graduation night, and Engineer Shane and I have decided that you are the valedictorian. You've got the mic for the next 60, maybe 90 seconds. What do you want to say to your family, your friends, your teachers, classmates out there? go ahead and give us your graduation speech.
Thank you to the ones who supported me throughout all of my journey in life. I've definitely gone through a bumpy road in life, not usual to most, but to those who stuck by my side, I greatly thank you. Life has definitely not been easy for everyone right now, but I know we can all get through it. I've definitely been through a lot of hard times in life, but I've always seen the sun shine at the end of the road.
Fantastic. And Pars, you just keep doing what you're doing. You, I know you have had some of those ups and downs, but you've come out stronger and wiser for the wear. And what's impressed me the most is how even when things have become most difficult for you, you've stepped in and looked to see how you can help other people, and that just is testament to your amazing heart and your amazing will. So I appreciate it. Pars, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Congratulations on your graduation. I love you, son.
Thank you. I love you too.
It's time for us to check with local and national news stories and the latest updates right now, but do stick around. When we come back, we have got some information on what's going on over at SCVi, how distance learning is working over there. You're listening to SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers with your host, Matt Watson, on your hometown station, KHTS.
There's a very good reason Embrace Your Smile has been voted Santa Clarita's #1 orthodontist for 10 years in a row.
Honestly, it's our team.
Dr. Megan LaCornu.
I think for me, what makes it stand out is when I have patients that come up to me and say, we have never been in a doctor's office that feels like this. Our team is a family, and we really get along, and we are really passionate about what we do, helping our patients get the smiles they want and deserve.
Dr. Megan LaCornu of Embrace Your Smile Orthodontics.
Embrace your smile.
EmbraceYourSmile.com.
Power Automotive is open for you during these challenging times. They've taken extra precautions to keep their employees and customers safe. What makes Power Automotive different? They offer a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty on all their repair services. All makes and models, autos, trucks, diesels, and even RVs. Mention KHTS and get 20% off parts. Power Automotive, on Soledad between Whites Canyon and Sierra Highway, behind Denny's. Power Automotive will show you why they've been voted Santa Clarita's #1 repair shop for the last 18 years.
Hi, this is Dr. Palucki. As an essential service, we're staying open to reduce emergency room visits and support small business. In response to this state of national emergency, I'd like to assure you that I'm doing my part to slow the spread of COVID-19 by disinfecting all contact surfaces for each patient, using gloves and hand sanitizer before adjusting each patient, keeping doors open and electronically checking in patients, and staggering patient visits to ensure the minimal 6-foot distancing. I also recommend boosting your immune system. For everyone staying at home, please download our free Healthy Living COVID-19 program at drpalucki.com and the KHTS Coronavirus Experts page. And if you, a family member, or employee is experiencing neck, shoulder, back pain, neuropathy, or migraine, and feel chiropractic could help, please reach out to me. The first visit is free, and for small businesses, we will treat anyone you refer for credit with your company. Call 661-753-9340 to schedule an appointment. That's 753-9340. Let's keep common health problems out of the emergency rooms so our medical doctors can focus on the coronavirus crisis.
Green Thumb International, your lawn and garden professionals, have the widest variety of shrubs, flowering plants, and garden supplies in the Santa Clarita Valley. Condition and fertilize your soil. Water does not easily penetrate clay soils and may pass too quickly beyond the root zone of plants in sandy soil. Adding organic matter to these soils will help correct imbalances and reduce water waste. On Newhall Avenue in Old Town Newhall near Sierra Highway. Green Thumb puts the green in your thumb.
Need to remodel? Hiring an expensive designer isn't in the budget. Here's a secret. Bring your pictures, art, or memorabilia to Fast Frame. They'll show you how to transform any room with simple touches. Their technology lets you see it on your wall before you buy it. Your child's art, a beautiful, valuable original? You deserve professional framing. Fast Frame of Valencia will accent the memories in your life. Fast Frame in the Cole Shopping Center. Call 291-1325.
KHTS AM 1220 and 98.1 FM Santa Clarita. It's 10 o'clock. Time for national news on KHTS.
The witnesses aren't actually there. Lisa Brady, Fox News. A first for any Senate hearing, as the chairman also appears remotely after a staffer got coronavirus, which is the focus of today's hearing. 4 top doctors from the White House task force testifying about how to reopen the country safely.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, says states that jump ahead of White House guidelines to reopen businesses risk little spikes that could turn into coronavirus outbreaks. And even states following guidelines must be prepared.
So it's not only doing it at the appropriate time with the appropriate constraints, but having in place the capability of responding when the inevitable return of infections occur.
That will require testing and contact tracing capacity. Fauci also told a Senate panel there's been modest success with remdesivir as a coronavirus treatment, but several vaccine candidates are in development.
Fox's Jared Halpern. Democrats are using the hearing in part to criticize the president. Senator Elizabeth Warren says more people are dying because of an insufficient federal response. Earlier today, the president tweeting about a transition to greatness, calling the American people warriors and our testing the best in the world. The Supreme Court hearing arguments in a fight over the president's tax records and other financial documents. Attorney Patrick Strawbridge says a release could set a dangerous precedent.
It is no secret the relationship between the House of Representatives and the president is frayed, but this is neither the first nor the last time that one House of Congress will be at odds with the president. The rule that the court applies here will affect not only this president, but the presidency itself.
At issue are several subpoenas from House committees and a New York prosecutor. The attorney for the House arguing it's for a legitimate legislative purpose and that the president does not have the right to absolute immunity. America is listening to Fox News.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No. Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Georgia's top prosecutor is demanding an investigation into the district attorney who declined to file charges against a father and son later charged in the killing of an unarmed black man.
The Attorney General in Georgia is sending state investigators to see if the local prosecutor committed any misconduct in the handling of the Ahmaud Arbery shooting death case. Arbery was shot dead in February in a Brunswick area neighborhood, and a video sent to police purportedly shows Gregory and Travis McMichael, who are white, chasing Arbery, who is black, in their truck before shooting him. But months went by with no charges filed. The elder McMichael is a former cop and investigator for the prosecutor. A review last week by outside law enforcement saw the McMichaels charged with murder. Eben Brown, Fox News.
The case is now on its 4th prosecutor. Campaigning has taken a backseat to coronavirus response around the country, and now the campaign arm for House Democrats is reporting lower contributions in the latest monthly total.
The Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee took in $11.3 million in April, down from $14.3 million in March. The April fundraising is just slightly higher than the same time last year, as many lawmakers face re-election this fall. Still, the DCCC has raised nearly $30,000 more during the 2020 election season than it did for the 2018 midterms. The Democratic National Committee in the Joe Biden campaign also saw lower contributions in April at around $60 million. The Republican National Committee in the Trump campaign experienced a slighter drop, bringing in nearly $62 million last month. Rachel Sutherland, Fox News.
A spokesman for the Kremlin is hospitalized with coronavirus. This as Russia surges to number 2 in the number of cases worldwide, with more than 232,000, second only to the U.S., which now has over 1.3 million confirmed cases. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Thanks for listening to KHTS AM 1220, Canyon Country, California. K260CO 98.1 FM, Santa Clarita, California.
And now, a cooking tip from Keith Mowry from Bob's Country Meats. Ribs were made for the barbecue, but here's a great cooking tip.
The best way I like to cook the ribs is in the oven, cover them about an hour, 350, then put them on the barbecue for about 15 to 20 minutes, turn them a few times just to get them nice and brown.
Ribs, chicken, tri-tip, pork chops, turkey, steaks, even exotic game like buffalo and ostrich. For the tastiest ribs in town, visit Bob's Country Meats on Soledad in Canyon Country.
The month of May is National Foster Parent Appreciation Month. Become a resource to a child and their family. Celebrate by applying to become a resource parent and fostering or foster adopting siblings. Children's Bureau is now offering an online foster adoption orientation for anyone, individuals, and or couples who are interested in helping children in foster care while reunifying with their birth families or to provide legal permanency by adoption. Call 1-800-730-3933 or visit allforkids.org. That is the number 4, allforkids.org.
Dutton Plumbing, it's Eric.
It's Mother. Can you come over right away? It's urgent.
I'll be right there, Mom. Okay, I'm here. What's wrong?
It's been weeks since you had a haircut, so I want to give you a nice trim. Sit down.
Ooh, ow.
Gee, I can see myself in the back of your head, son.
Mom.
Oops.
What happened?
Never mind, it'll grow back. So, what's new at Dutton Plumbing, son?
Well, with so many people stuck at home, there's a lot of stuff getting stuck in their pipes. So, our $73 drain clearing is really keeping us busy.
Wait a minute. I bet the plumber's hair is getting shaggy, too. You tell them that Mom will cut their hair for just $73.
Isn't that a little high for a haircut, Mom?
Well, I'll toss in the manscaping for free.
Mom! DuttonPlumbing.com.
Mom's $73 drain clearing at DuttonPlumbing.com. Manscaping not included.
Hey there, it's Tori with your hometown station weather. Mostly cloudy today with highs going up to the mid-70s, overnight lows in the 50s. For anything and everything Santa Clarita Valley related, including the latest on COVID-19 here in the Santa Clarita area, go to hometownstation.com.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
The following is sponsored programming and does not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of KHTS or its ownership.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. This is Matt Watson, your host. You're listening to Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. Our next guest is a member of the leadership team at SCVi Charter School. Tina Toval is a local girl growing up right here in Santa Clarita. She's a graduate of Saugus High School and a founding staff member of SCVi. That's right, she has been around since year one. Tina's a talented and empathetic educator. Her tremendous experience and unflappable demeanor, that's right, unflappable, has allowed her to connect with her colleagues, her learners, and her families. And no matter how difficult things get, you can always count on Tina to remain even-keeled and get the job done, whether it's a learner who's struggling with a personal crisis, a school-wide decision that needs to be made under the very real threat of wildfires, or with a colleague, I don't know, for example, who's gone completely rogue. Tina, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. It's good to have you. I'm so glad you were able to join us. Before we get started, how are you and your family doing during this time?
We're doing good. We're hanging in there. I'm 9 months pregnant over here, so just trying to stay healthy, stay calm, and stay quarantined.
Yeah. This is just a couple days ago. You celebrated your very first Mother's Day. Did your husband Alex celebrate you well?
He did. He always takes care of me and is so sweet. So yeah, it's been nice.
Más le vale. He's a good guy.
He is. I'll keep him.
Absolutely. So yeah, like Tina said, this was her first Mother's Day. She's actually expecting any day now, and could go out on maternity leave, right here at the end of the show, possibly. So Tina, I mentioned in your intro that you've been at SCVi since pretty much the very beginning. What's it been like to be part of creating something so special? Because you guys really built the school from the ground up. I think there were 8, 9 staff members when you opened your doors in 2008.
Yeah, if even that. Yeah, definitely a small group of us. And yeah, it's been a really unique experience that I've really appreciated. It's been amazing to see what started out as, an idea, a vision, in a small office building with a handful of classes grow so quickly into the large organization that we are today, with so many passionate educators and families that share the same vision as us. So it's been really beautiful to watch it grow. I'm really glad that I've been able to witness it and be able to be part of that process.
Yeah, definitely. You've been a huge part of it. I know. I've come a long way in my journey with SCVi and iLEAD schools, and you were a huge part of my growth, mostly, that first year telling me, hey, get out of the way, the kids can handle this. So yeah, you are one of those foundational pillars at our school and in our organization. You started out teaching 4th grade, right?
I started out, the first year I taught 7th grade.
Oh, okay.
I started out as a student teacher, year 1, 7th grade, with 2 other facilitators that actually are 2 of my greatest friends still to this day. So we taught 7th grade together, and then the following year is, when I started teaching 4th grade.
Okay, so then this year will be SCVi's 7th high school graduation. It'll be the 4th group or maybe the 3rd group of 4th graders that you had, but you had that very first group of high schoolers. So you've kind of had a personal connection to each group of our graduating seniors. What's it been like to watch them grow from 7th grade or from 4th grade all the way up to becoming high school seniors and heading off into the world, heading to college and career?
It's crazy. Again, one of those really unique experiences that I've really, really loved. And like you said, I get to watch them grow, and I get to, I feel like, be some kind of part of that process and witness it and maintain those connections with them and those relationships with them and watch them, reach their goals and walk across that stage. It's pretty special. It's emotional. It's all of that. I know that not a lot of educators get to experience that. So again, I just feel so lucky because I get to watch these kids grow.
Yeah, absolutely. The ability to for children and families to attend the same school, kindergarten through 12th grade, is almost a unique one here in the Santa Clarita Valley. I actually did misspeak yesterday when I was talking about SCVi. I said that we were the only comprehensive school in the valley. We are not, but we are the only public school that is comprehensive K through 12, and you can see kids grow. It's so fun. If you're ever at SCVi during the beginning of the school day or the end of the school day, you see kindergartners, first graders milling around, and then a few minutes later the middle schoolers and the high schoolers start to come out, and it is such a beautiful community. So Tina, what have you enjoyed most about having all 13 grades on that same campus there?
It really, no matter how large we are, like you said, we're TK through 12. Like, no matter how large we get and how many students we have, being able to to have these kids from when they're little to, you know, like I said, walking across the stage, it really does create this family environment. You do feel like you're part of not just a school, but a family unit. And, yeah, it's been nice. I've really appreciated being able to, you know, be part of all these kids' lives. And, you know, we have our soon-to-be juniors, you know, they're going to be, when they graduate, they're going to be a class that's been with us since kindergarten, right. You know, so that's crazy. It's incredible. So, again, emotional, beautiful, creates that family environment. And, you know, again, I don't know that a lot of educators get to experience something like that. I don't know that a lot of families get to experience something like that. So, I feel like we're really, really lucky.
You know, we really are. I have worked in, you know, a K through 5 and a K through 6 elementary school, and it's always tough. You know, those 6th graders, I would teach 3rd grade, and I'd watch my kids go through 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, and then graduate and just kind of go off into, you know, the abyss or the wild blue yonder, if you will. You know, and most of them never to be seen again. Every now and then, you know, you've got a kid or two that'll come back and say hello when their junior high or high school is on a minimum day or what have you, but it's very few of them. On the other hand, at SCVi, you know, you've seen it. You were teaching 4th and 5th grade for so many years. You'd have high schoolers come back, and oftentimes they're coming back to pick up their younger siblings or check in on them and say, "Don't you give Miss Toval a bad time." So it is a great experience. It's a neat way for kids to collaborate as well. You know, whether it's middle schoolers working with the kindergartners or the 1st graders, or high schoolers collaborating on science projects with the 4th graders that you and I were working with. It's a great community to have, like you said. Now, we were talking about graduation a little bit earlier, and SCVi's graduations are such an exciting time. I know that this year is going to be a little bit different, but I was actually involved in some conversation the other day about what we can do to help keep SCVi's graduation as special as it's always been. That's the attitude that I love around our schools is very seldom do we ask the question, can we do this or can we do that? It's more of a, how can we do this?
How?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So now, and we're really faced with a tough one this year, you know, how can we still have that hallmark SCVi graduation? And like I said, if you've never been there, you've got to check out on the iLEAD School's website one of SCVi's graduations from the past. They're just such touching events. Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. So
they
Tina,
really are.
What's been one of your favorite SCVi graduation moments?
Oh man, that's so hard because, like you said, there's such beautiful ceremonies, and I know I keep saying it, but they've been, you know, emotional and they've been beautiful, and you know, you have that family vibe going still. So they're just, each of them are so unique and special. I think, I mean, if one stands out to me, I feel like it would definitely have to be our first graduating class that we had. Again, it's those 7th graders that I had year 1 as a student teacher, and they graduated, you know, a group of them seniors, and it was really special because they were our first graduating class, and we got to give them the 7th grade teachers that had been with them the whole time, got to give them a little pin and hug them, and it was really, really touching. So I think that for sure stands out to me. But like, you know, like you said, they're all so beautiful. But yeah, I think for sure that one, I'll always remember doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. They're very, very special. And like I said, if you're interested in viewing, take a look at either the SCVi or iLEAD School's website. You can view some of those archived graduations. They're really cool, even if you don't know any of the kids graduating. So, Tina, we're now in week 9 of distance learning, and you know, we just spoke with the mayor last hour, and the whole quarantine and not being able to go to school, the stay-at-home orders. You know, we're all kind of over it right now, but business has to continue. You know, we can't just throw up our hands and give up on our kids. So, how's it going there at SCVi? Have you gotten feedback from the staff, the learners, the families? How's everything going with distance learning?
You know, it's going really, really great. We, you know, like I said earlier, we work with some pretty amazing educators, and we have really strong teams, and, you know, luckily we were able to pick up with distance learning right away. You know, school was closed on a Friday, and we picked up that Monday, and we were ready to go. Our teachers, you know, had everything they needed. Our online team helped support our teachers, and it's like we just didn't skip a beat. And I know that, you know, the families really, really appreciated that. The kids really appreciated that. You know, it's hard. These kids, you know, TK through 12, you have these little ones that have no idea why this is happening to the older ones that, you know, are feeling sad about missing out on their high school experiences. But they've really been able to maintain those connections with their teachers, with each other. You know, all of them start out every morning with an advisory or morning meeting, checking in with each other, you know, socializing, mental health check, and then, you know, continue with what our kids know how to do, which is, you know, project-based learning and, you know, collaborating and working together. And, you know, I know that the staff has appreciated connecting with the kids too, because we miss them just as much, you know, just as much as they miss being at school with their friends. So it's been really great. I know that our families have appreciated it. Our staff has been happy. It's a tough time, but I feel, again, that family in us, we came together, and we are continuing to come together, and it's been pretty flawless, I have to say.
You know, from my perspective, I see the same thing. I don't see it, you know, down in the trenches like you do every day, but I've seen different social media posts and things like that, and you're right, the projects continue, and I've seen some stuff online, whether it's out of the middle schoolers, or I was able to assess some of the sophomore personal projects that they presented last week, and I've had the pleasure of seeing some of the stuff that's going on the elementary school level as well. So it's across the board. Our learners are actually, it seems like they're dialing in, and with everything being so new, it's causing deeper thought, deeper reflection. They're doing some stuff that is really knocking my socks off, and then, like you said, the facilitators are also there helping to take care of some of those social emotional needs. It's been really, really impressive.
Yeah, they work, you know, our facilitators, our staff works really, really hard, you know, for the kids. You know, they're definitely, you know, putting the kids first. And I've never worked with a group of people that have been so dedicated and worked so hard, you know, to put kids first. So
absolutely, it's
pretty
beautiful.
amazing.
It's funny. I saw a post a couple days ago mentioning how, you know, we have all these accountability measures, state testing and the like, to make sure that teachers and principals do their job. Well, one of the first things the state did is said, okay, we're taking the accountability measures away. And what did teachers and principals do? They kind of doubled down on their efforts. They're really in it because they want the best for our kids. And that includes all the schools in our area, but I've really seen it out of SCVi and the other iLEAD schools at this time. All right, Tina, we've got just a couple of minutes, and now is your time. You mentioned that you and your husband are expecting your first any day now. Do you want to make any announcement here on the air about names for your baby?
Ooh, wow.
Don't want to pressure you.
I don't think I haven't even told some family members the name yet, so I might have to hold off on that one.
Well, you're definitely going to have to hold off because, you know, I know some of your family members, and I don't need anybody coming after me.
That's right, because you know they will.
Absolutely. I know you have to go soon because even though you're ready to go out on maternity leave, your dedication to the educational process goes on. I know you've got an IEP meeting coming up soon, but I know you wouldn't hang up the phone without getting a dad joke from me, right?
Oh, I'm so excited. I was waiting.
I knew you were. And Tina, you know when a joke becomes a dad joke, right?
No, I don't. When does it become a dad joke, Matt?
When it becomes apparent. Get it? When it becomes apparent, like you're about to?
I get it.
All right. Okay, Tina, thanks so much for stopping by. We appreciate
Thank you, Matt.
the check-in. It's always good to talk to you. Give Alex a big hug for me, okay?
Of course. I sure will. Thank you.
You take care. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but please stick around. We've got more coming up. For more information on how COVID-19 is affecting our valley, I want you to go to hometownstation.com and click on that red banner there. You're going to find tips on the economy, health updates, special business hours, and much, much more. You are listening to SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson on your hometown station, KHTS.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top quality musicals and plays. Located on Main Street in Old Town Newhall, CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go online to canyontheater.org.
We all know sometimes people lose their way. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, the Way Out Recovery SCVi may have the answers you've been waiting for. The Way Out is the premier intensive outpatient treatment center serving Santa Clarita. Asking for help is the first step. Call the Way Out today, 661-296-4444. That's 296-4444 for a private free assessment. The Way Out is an accredited, affordable outpatient program that accepts most insurance. Call us at 661-296-4444 or check us out online at thewayoutrrecoveryscv.com. Quit battling with yourself. Ask The Way Out for help today.
You see so much when you look at your child. A creative spirit that surprises you every day. Curiosity that develops into exploring unique passions. A little leader growing every day to discover who they are, what they love, and how they can make their mark on the world. At SCVi, we see those same amazing things. Our tuition-free K-12 charter school gives your child boundless opportunities to think critically and imagine freely, with a customized learning program built around each individual student. As iLEAD's founding school, SCVi combines an immersive approach to traditional subject learning with extracurricular activities, including STEAM, robotics, theater, music, and sports. SCVi has the only international baccalaureate program in Santa Clarita, with a 10-year proven track record of graduates excelling at top universities. And we're in your backyard, just off the 5 freeway in West Santa Clarita Valley in Castaic. For enrollment information or to learn more about our program, including homeschool options, visit iLEADSantaClarita.org. iLEAD Schools, free to think, inspired to lead.
I'm Christina Debray, licensed marriage and family therapist, your Santa Clarita Valley trauma and grief specialist. The coronavirus and the new stay-at-home orders have changed our lives significantly. On behalf of KHTS 98.1 FM, AM 1220, hometownstation.com, here's a tip to help your children learn to regulate their anxiety. Teach your kids a quick breathing exercise to bring themselves to a place of calm. Inhale for 7 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and exhale for 7 seconds for a total of 7 times. It's helpful to do this together as a family activity, but can also be used individually. Try this first when they are already calm, and then ask them to practice during various emotional points throughout the day. Afterwards, ask them if they notice anything different. Stay safe, stay at home, and let's flatten the curve. I'm Christina Debray, licensed marriage and family therapist, your Santa Clarita Valley trauma and grief specialist.
Finding the right lawyer can be a challenge, but in Santa Clarita, there's no need to search when there's Hacker Law Group, Santa Clarita's premier litigation firm. Jeffrey Hacker has represented celebrities, financial institutions, accident victims, and other individuals and companies with their legal challenges. Mr. Hacker has been ranked the 15th most influential person in the entire Santa Clarita Valley in 2010 by the Santa Clarita Valley Business Journal. When everything is on the line, call the Hacker Law Group.
As the stay-at-home order continues, Burger King is committed to following state and federal safety guidelines when it comes to serving you, the customer. Although in-restaurant dining has closed, pickup and delivery service continues. The current hours are 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can mobile order through the BK app for pickup, or you can use any of the delivery services like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Postmates. Burger King on Lyons at the 5 freeway, now with service at 2 drive-through windows.
He broke records and piloted the F-18 Super Hornet in combat. Answering our nation's call, he served with honor. Then Mike Garcia returned home to his family, to a far worse California from where he grew up. Now, Garcia's next mission: cut taxes, clean up homelessness in our cities. With California on the brink, we need a fighter to answer the call once again. Mike Garcia for Congress.
I'm Mike Garcia, and I approve this message.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome back in. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. You are listening to Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers, and I'm your host, Matt Watson. You know, we just got off the phone with Tina Toval. She at SCVi Charter School. She's a member of the leadership team. She mentioned that her journey started out as a student teacher over there at SCVi and a founding staff member, and became a fully credentialed teacher and foundational pillar over there at SCVi, and part of what makes them so amazing. She's now got a leadership role over there. You know, with the stay-at-home orders and the closure of school sites, the implementation of distance learning and everything that goes along with it, it's been hard. It's been hard on all schools. You know, it was tough for everybody to get up and running. You know, this isn't easy, and I know it's not easy for you and your kids. Trust me, I've seen the memes, I've seen the social media posts. It is tough on you, I get it. But it's been just as tough on teachers and on principals and the background support staff. It's been really difficult. But like I've talked about on the show, I have developed such a tremendous respect and admiration for those businesses, schools, organizations, and individuals who've demonstrated some of the creative problem solving that it takes in order to, in many cases, just survive during this pandemic. And some folks have been able to figure out a way to not only survive but thrive and shift things. You know, whenever I talk about this, I think about our friend Graham Silver, the driveway DJ. You know, if anybody had the absolute right to just kind of throw in the towel and say, hey, pandemic, stay-at-home order, there's nothing I can do about it, it's those DJs, right? You know, their life's blood is weddings and bar mitzvahs and quinceañeras and social gatherings, and when we can't gather socially, what's a DJ to do? Well, Graham really quickly figured it out, and I love the heart with which he came to the table with. He said, look, I'm going to be sitting at home on the couch watching the People's Court, or I can provide a service to my community. And so what does he do? He throws his speakers in the back of his Jeep every day, and he visits a different neighborhood in our valley he visits sometimes 5-6 different neighborhoods in our valley every day, and he does dance parties for the kids. And a little secret here, you don't need to be a kid in order to appreciate Graham's talent and his dance parties and the games that he's got going on. He does like to cater to neighborhoods that have lots of kids, but he throws these block parties for free. Just let him know where you're at. He will pull up, he'll set up, do a full half-an-hour set. You'll dance the YMCA, the Cupid Shuffle, play some games. He's got some, and he's really evolved his services over these last 8 or 9 weeks. He doesn't charge for it. He does ask for donations, but he's very very easy about it. Doesn't require anything at all. He just wants to get out there and help this community keep dancing. And I love the way he has, like I said, he's pivoted, right? He's taken what's come at us and said, all right, life's not going to happen to me. I'm going to make my life happen. So how can we do this? I've really grown in admiration for people and organizations that have been able to do that. And I've seen that with our schools. Yes, I'm kind of a homer. I do work for SCVi and iLEAD and no, so I'm not going to get on the radio and talk bad about them. But I'm not exaggerating this. To see the things that the facilitators and the school directors have been doing every day to make sure that every single kid stays connected and stays, well, if we have time, we'll talk about it, stays physically fed, stays emotionally fed, stays academically fed, has been just phenomenal. I've spoken with some of the parents. We've had some of the kids here on the air, and they talk about that connection that they enjoy connecting with their classes, connecting with their teachers, their facilitators every single day. And as we mentioned with Tina, project-based learning continues. And that is so important because it's authentic learning. It's not just downloading a worksheet and filling in the blanks, filling in the bubbles. Project-based learning is something where you get your intellectual hands dirty, if you will. You get involved in some deep research and exploring and thinking about not only what you believe is the right way to develop your project, but why. And you need to explain it, and you're constantly reflecting on it. It's a deeper, much more authentic way to learn. It's the way we've been doing things at SCVi and iLEAD since 2008. And it's so beautiful to see that, gosh, in so many cases, not only has it continued, but some of our staff has really stepped up to their game and gotten better at what they do during these tough times. And that just blows my mind. You know, social emotional learning. We're starting to hear out of just about every school organization now how important it is to teach the whole child. But again, this is something we've been doing since 2008, that we work with our kids to make sure that all of their needs are being met. Because, you know, if a kid is scared, he's not going to be able to learn his times tables. If there's a learner who's not feeling motivated, if they're not developing the grit and the character and the interpersonal relationships that they need to develop, they're not going to be able to write a paragraph with a topic sentence the way they should be. That, they're worried about their basic needs. And again, I've seen the staff at SCVi and our other iLEAD schools just really step up and make sure that each kid is connected. I've heard stories about learners who unfortunately are dealing with homelessness, and can you imagine how this current pandemic complicates that situation, or learners that struggle with maybe technological needs. They don't have the internet signal that they need at home, or the devices that they need, and our schools have stepped in to take care of all of those needs, making sure that they're reaching each and every one of their students. It's just been so impressive. Their commitment to serving the needs of all learners, including learners with special needs, has continued. I mentioned Tina had to run quickly at the end of last break. It's because she was heading into an IEP meeting. And you know, iLEAD schools, SCVi, has not only been applauded, they've been contacted by other school districts to find out what it is that we're doing that allows us to still meet the needs of some of our kids with some of the most extreme and complicated struggles that they're dealing with. And the answer has been, well, this is the way we always do things. We do what it takes to meet the needs of every single one of our kids, and nothing's going to get in our way. It doesn't matter if we need to deliver those services behind a 13-inch screen or not. We're going to do what it takes. And I even see the way SCVi handled prom this year. You know, again, so easy to say, pandemic, prom canceled. You know, what are you going to do? You can't throw a prom when the governor's saying that we've all got to stay at home. Well, what the staff at our schools does definitely rubs off on our families and our learners. And so as we were talking with our juniors and seniors about, okay, what are we going to do about prom? We kind of can't do prom. Again, super easy, throw in the towel, prom's canceled. Our learners, our students said, you know, it's not going to be the same. We're not going to be able to have prom, and let's not call it prom. In fact, they sort of kind of taglined what they did last week as not prom. Okay, so what are you doing on, I think it was Friday night? Well, what we're doing is not prom. What they did was an event called Safety Dance, which I thought was kind of cool because, you know, I'm a child of the 80s and I love me some men without hats, right? Well, they did what was called a safety dance. They hired a DJ, which I thought was great. They got a DJ out there, did a virtual Zoom dance, and one of the things I thought was beautiful, you know, prom is for juniors and seniors, and since the upperclassmen decided that this is hashtag not prom, they wanted to invite the underclassmen. So it was all of the high school learners at SCVi that were invited to the, again, putting in air quotes, can you see it, not prom, and they did this safety dance. Everybody was at home, but they still had this fun kind of 80s themed dance where the kids and the staff were there, you know, showing off their moves and having a good time. And you know what else they did? They donated the proceeds to this dance because, yeah, they did charge just like you would any school dance. They donated the proceeds to local charities charities that are supporting those affected most by this pandemic. And gosh, it just touched my heart. And again, all of that came from the hearts of our learners, our students there at SCVi. It is really beautiful. And as you know, Eye on the Valley, our show here, is brought to you in partnership between SCVi and iLEAD schools with KHTS. We've been sharing with everyone during this time of distance learning the great resources that not just our homeschoolinganswers.com page, but also brought to you by, we brought in many of our curriculum experts. We've had folks here on the show talking about what you can do to help develop mathematical thinking or help develop an artistic and creative mind or the different things that you can do in the different subject areas. We brought them here on the station. Our facilitators and our learners have been on to share what makes SCVi's whole child and project-based learning environment different. You know, it is a different environment. We use words like facilitator rather than teacher to remind us of what that educational professional should be doing. Remember, the education isn't about the teacher, it's about the learner. Yeah, you'll hear me, I refer to learners rather than students, because we're trying to shift things, okay? Gone, or at least I hope, gone are the days where the sage, the know-it-all teacher stands in the front of the room and imparts all of the things that he knows into those receptacles that are students in the audience there. Because if you're going to be limited to what that one expert in front of the room knows, you're going to be extremely limited. And so we're looking to shift the way we do education, and we start with our language. We shift the language, and that reminds us that we should be doing things differently in our classrooms. It's not always an easy shift. I've mentioned my journey with SCVi and iLEAD. It was hard at first, but then I realized, we're doing something a little bit different here. Did you know that SCVi Charter School is a free public school? There is no tuition involved. There are no district boundaries. If you live in California, you can attend our school. Now, transportation is on you. We don't have buses going up to Marin County or down to Orange County or anything like that. You do need to provide your own transportation, although I will qualify that by saying in most cases we do have some buses that go to some of our more outer lying areas. I believe we've got a bus that heads out to Piru and those areas west on 126. We've got a couple of buses that actually head down into the northern San Fernando Valley area because we've got large pockets of families that come to us from those more remote areas. But we've also got families that come to us from the Lancaster, Palmdale area, from all over the Santa Clarita Valley, obviously. And again, it's a free public school, no tuition involved. If you live in California, your child is eligible to attend. And I want to let you know that tomorrow night, Wednesday, at 6 p.m., what date are we at right now? Today's the 12th, so tomorrow night, Wednesday is the 13th. I want to make sure because I know we do replay the show from time to time. Wednesday the 13th at 6 p.m., SCVi's Upper School, again, that's what we call our high school, SCVi's Upper School will be hosting a virtual information session with College Counselor Chris Nilsson, School Director Dr. Katia Ariarambuono. How you like my Portuguese? Many of the facilitators and staff will also be there to share what makes SCVi a great choice for high schoolers and answer any questions that you may have about enrolling your child. You know, this time of year is when we as parents oftentimes rethink or reconsider the educational journey of our children. And you know, I read that once 50 years ago, the single most important decision a parent made was which doctor to take their child to. And about 20 years ago, that question or that priority, that number one priority, shifted. And now the number one question that a parent has to answer is what school to send their child to. Why that shift? Well, because 50 years ago, that wasn't even a question. We all went to the school that we were assigned, right? You didn't have an option. Well, now, with school choice being a reality, we as parents choose where to send our schools, and it's such a great opportunity for us. You know, whether we want our child to attend a traditional district school, we still have choices within our district. You know, we can send our kids to a different school than just the one on the corner, or we've got charter schools to choose from. There's so many different options that we have. And so please, we invite you again to attend tomorrow night, Wednesday, the 13th, at 6 p.m., SCVi's Upper Schools virtual information session. Sarah's going to post the link on the Facebook live feed to register for the informational session. So she's going to post that in the comments here on the Facebook live feed for the show. If you need more information, there is a Facebook event page as well. Later in the month, they're going to host an additional informational session for the younger grades, as well as an overview about the school. So follow SCVi on Facebook or sign up for their alerts on their website at iLEADSantaClarita.org. That's iLEADSantaClarita.org. And I want to remind you that SCVi is on the west end of the Santa Clarita Valley, here just off of Newhall Ranch Road. Again, for our address, just look it up at iLEADSantaClarita.org. We've also got iLEAD Agua Dulce on the east side of town, just up the road here. You'll be shocked at how close Agua Dulce is to towns like Canyon Country, Saugus. We've got a lot of people that drop off on their way into town from Palmdale and Lancaster area, so head on over to iLEADAguadulce.org, or if you're enjoying this distance learning journey and you want to continue on it, you might want to check out iLEAD Online, iLEADonline.org, or iLEAD Exploration. That is, we've got thousands of kids that are enrolled in our vibrant homeschooling program, and no, that doesn't mean that they're at home all day behind a screen. They're involved in all kinds of social activities. Our homeschooling facilitators, they're called EFs, educational facilitators, do amazing things with our kids, and we've got studios as resources for kids to come in and supplement that homeschooling model, if you will. So that's iLEAD Exploration or iLEADonline.org. You just go on to any one of those websites and click Enroll Now. We'll have virtual tours up and running soon, so you can get your child on the wait list for the fall. And in some grades, I think there are still openings now. It might be too late in some cases. And then, of course, if you are from points further north, we've got iLEAD Lancaster up in Lancaster, or iLEAD AV, which is actually just a few miles away there in Lancaster as well. So you can check those out if that's something that you're interested in. Like I said, this is such an important decision that families make. Getting an update here from producer Sarah. She does say that SCVi provides bus services to Piru and Fillmore, the northern San Fernando Valley, and they're currently taking an interest list for buses from the Lancaster and Palmdale area. So yeah, if that's something you're interested in, you can sign up for that interest list and get those transportation needs taken care of. So again, we're all looking for what's best for our kids, and I know it's tough. Being a parent is really a difficult job, and here at SCVi and iLEAD, we're here to walk that journey with you, to support you in what you're doing, and help facilitate for your needs as well. One of the exciting things that I always enjoyed out at SCVi was Parent University, where we sit down and we work and collaborate with our parents about what works best with all of our kids. Well, we do need to take our last commercial break. Please stay tuned. We've got Christina Debray calling in soon. She's our show's official licensed marriage and family therapist. She'll be joining us in just a couple of minutes. You're listening to SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson on your hometown station, KHTS.
Hi, this is Wendy Hassenflug, yoga and wellness entrepreneur. I'm excited to share one of the best kept secrets in Santa Clarita. Top Out Climbing Gym is one of my favorite places. Rock climbing is exceptional for building upper and lower body strength, and it improves your flexibility. Almost anyone can rock climb, and you don't have to be super fit to climb. You'll build strength and stamina while having fun at the same time. Get over to Top Out Climbing Gym in Center Point and challenge yourself to new heights.
Comfort Keepers provides your loved one with loving in-home care.
Miles McNamara, certified senior advisor and owner of Comfort Keepers in-home care.
Our caregivers can help you in your own home, enhancing independence, creating safety and comfort. Our Comfort Keepers provide companionship, meal preparation, medication reminders, assistance with personal care, and even transportation to doctor's appointments. If someone you love can use a helping hand at home, visit comfortkeepers.com.
Or call 287-4200.
You could be launching your rewarding career with one of Santa Clarita's leading defense contractors, FMI Aerostructures. Imagine creating critical airplane fighter components for our nation's defense. Be on the cutting edge of advanced technologies and get the skills needed to make our defense your career. We offer career paths for beginners and professionals. FMI Aerostructures, one of Santa Clarita's largest employers since 1978.
Find out about our 4-credit mentorship programs through College of the Canyons and the William S. Hart High School District. Visit fmiscv.com.
I'm Matt Denny, CPA, with Denny & Company, LLP, your hometown CPAs. Here are some tips to help you with anxiety you may have about your income tax returns for 2019. The deadlines for filing both state and federal returns have been extended to July 15. Both the state and the feds are also extending the time for making 2019 tax payments otherwise due, without interest or penalty, to July 15. These details keep changing, so contact us at 661-286-8860 or see our website at dennyllp.com.
At iLEAD Agua Dulce, we believe the most important thing a child can learn in school is who they are. Life's real tests are never standardized, which is why we've developed an individual-based curriculum that values exploration, cooperation, and creativity. As our learners grow, so do we. Our tuition-free charter school is currently enrolling grades TK through 7th and adding 8th grade in 2020. Your young learner will be immersed in a unique environment where possibility and self-discovery are at the core of every experience. The Agua Dulce campus features beautiful indoor and outdoor spaces for hands-on inspiration, including a robotics lab, a garden bed, a greenhouse, and a technology-based exploratorium. iLEAD Agua Dulce is conveniently located on the east side of the Santa Clarita Valley, just off the 14 freeway. Check out our homeschool options too. To schedule a campus tour or learn more about our programs, visit iLEADaguadulce.org. We're enrolling now. iLEAD Schools. Free to think, inspired to lead.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. This is Matt Watson, and you're listening to Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. We are joined now by Christina Debray. She's a licensed marriage and family therapist with just a beautiful story of resilience and determination. She grew up with so many different roadblocks, and you talk about quarantines and stay-at-home orders and social distancing. Christina's been doing that her entire life, and she took that bag of lemons and turned it into not only lemonade, but lemon meringue and some lemon pepper chicken, and just laid out a beautiful course for herself, supporting others who are going through some similar traumas and some significant obstacles of their own. Christina is a licensed marriage and family therapist here practicing in Valencia. She's studied extensively, including trauma, phobias, performance enhancement. She's got degrees from Cal State Northridge and Pepperdine University. She's got more than 18 years of public speaking experience. Christina, good morning. Thanks for joining us again.
Good morning.
We appreciate you coming in. You know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we are making sure that folks are aware and that they're taking good care of themselves and getting the support that they need. Yesterday, we decided to take a deep dive into anxiety. We talked last week about depression, and you told us yesterday, I didn't know this, that anxiety is the single most common mental health disorder, but that it's also extremely treatable. So that's kind of a good news, bad news kind of thing. So how do you treat anxiety? What treatments are available, and what would our listeners get if they were to come to you with significant levels of anxiety?
So anxiety disorders really can vary. So, on the lower end, you have adjustment disorder with anxiety, and, on the higher end, you have panic disorder or PTSD. And so, based on what you have, treatment might look a little different. Additionally, any kind of medical issue can sometimes cause anxiety, and so it's important to rule out that whether or not you're having a medical problem or a mental health problem. So what I usually do when clients come in is I say, go to your general physician and get tested. and then if everything comes back normal, then we can begin treatment. And so really the two types of treatments that are going to be great are cognitive behavioral therapy and EMDR therapy. So I personally practice EMDR therapy, and there was a recent article that was published saying that EMDR therapy is actually the most cost-effective therapy because it works the quickest. And so, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask, you've mentioned EMDR therapy in the past, and I'm sure most of our listeners aren't aware. Can you take a minute to describe what EMDR is?
So EMDR therapy, the governing theory behind it is that memory is the core of health and pathology. So when we have intense, overwhelming, distressing memories, for example, a traumatic event like the Saugus shooting or like anything related to COVID-19, what happens is it can become really overwhelming for our mind, and then it doesn't get processed correctly. And so when it doesn't get processed correctly, it kind of just gets thrown in the middle of the living room, and it's just there, and it's constantly trying to get reprocessed, and that's why we have symptoms. Okay, so we can have anxiety symptoms, we can have depression symptoms, trauma symptoms. So what EMDR therapy does is it breaks it down into smaller digestible pieces. So we take, if you think of an entire memory, we break that down into what the sensory data was. What did we see? What did we hear? What was the temperature? We have the emotions, feeling sad, feeling distressed. We have the negative belief, I'm not safe, I'm not in control. And then we have where we feel that in our body. Oh, well, I feel it. My chest feels tight, or I feel like someone punched me in the stomach. So we break this up. We essentially organize it, right? I'm like an emotional professional organizer. We organize this information into piles, and then we use bilateral stimulation, which is what we already do every night when we sleep or when we walk, right? Sometimes, the phrase walk it off or sleep on it, that's because that's when we process information. So we recreate this. So you can do that through tapping. It can be done in a variety of ways. And then you process this information. And it's extremely effective. And we're not doing anything that your mind doesn't already do every day.
Okay, so you're not manipulating us or messing with us in any way. I love that analogy of kind of organizing things, and it goes right along with what we talk about when we talk about going to therapy. I'm getting stuff sorted out, right? Getting stuff organized. So that is interesting. We're going to talk tomorrow, Christina, if you don't mind, about other ways that maybe anxiety can be treated, or some other things that we can do to help us work through our struggles with anxiety. And I want to remind our listeners that if you're struggling, please reach out to your healthcare provider and be quick to get the support that you need. Oftentimes we'll see, guys like me, you have an injury, you twist an ankle, you break a bone, and everybody says, oh, you got to get to the ER, and here you're walking around with, a severed limb going, no, I'm just going to walk it off. No, help get the treatment that you need physically and mentally. You can contact Christina directly at her phone number, 661-513-4857, 661-513-4857. We're also putting her website here on the Facebook live feed, KristinaDebray.com, and she can help get you directed, whether it's with her, with your general practitioner and your physician, or with another colleague of hers. But she's given you a free 15-minute phone consultation, so get in contact with Christina. That is all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to our guests, Mayor Cameron Smyth, Senior from Saugus High School, Pars Watson, Tina Toval from SCVi, and as always, Christina Debray. You are listening to SCVi Charter School's Eye on the Valley. I'm Matt Watson, and this is your hometown station, KHTS.